Oh my god, are we bring up the third one?
X-Men, The Last Stand.
Make no mistake, my brothers. The humans will draw first blood. And the air is still, and the night has fallen. There's only one question you must answer. Who will you stand with?
So let me just preface
X-Men
this.
San Francisco.
Now, do you want to get in on this one?
Yeah, I'll get it on.
Okay, so Brian, let's
Change out.
I'll bring you up when we talk about the Juggernaut.
Of course. Oh, the Juggernaut.
Oh, God.
Bring me up when the kid has cancer. And
The cure of
Don't you know who I am?
he has leukemia.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch! Oh my! So
I mean, they did it.
here, get close and just.
Like, I mean, they referenced the online, because what was that? It was a meme, right, at the time, and they really referenced that. I'm like, I don't know how it would fly today.
I hope they say it again in Deadpool and Wolverine, because that actor is gonna, or at least that version of Juggernaut is going to be in the film.
Yeah, that version of Juggernaut's going to be in there.
Don't you know who I am? And then Deadpool says, "It's the Juggernaut, bitch!"
Oh, that would be fucking cool.
Yeah, Juggernaut. Okay, so we're talking about X-Men: The Last Stand.
Oh.
So this movie, to kind of set up the film, right? The movie was going through a lot in the development phase.
Oh yeah.
Because Bryan Singer, who's kind of a scumbag.
Sorry about that, guys.
Bryan Singer was the director of the first two films, and they were critically acclaimed, big films. Those were his X-Men films primarily, right?
Oh yeah.
And people are looking forward to the third film, especially after the second one. The second one teases the Phoenix at the very end. We have a great fight scene with Lady Deathstrike and Wolverine and everything. We see great characterization of Wolverine, and we see it all, dude. We see it all with this second film. So people are excited for third film. You're doing the fucking Phoenix? Yo, this is gonna be the one. And I don't know if you guys know this. You probably do. There was a game that was a tie-in game that was set between the second film and the third film called X-Men: The Official Game. Do you remember this?
I think I do.
It's called X-Men: The Official Game.
Wait, was
and
it on
GameCube, PlayStation 2,
Cool.
and it had like the voice. It had the actors in it. Hugh Jackman, not all of them, but a lot of them.
I mean, if you got Hugh Jackman,
Hugh
on
Jackman,
the fucking game,
I'll play any game with Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman was in it. The actor who plays Alan Cumming, who plays Nightcrawler's in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
shit.
you can play them.
He's in there.
And Patrick Stewart was in it. But they also brought in characters to tease the next film, like Kelsey Grammer's Beast. And, like these characters. And it's setting up the third film. We're seeing Cyclops. Cyclops isn't a playable character. He's still kind of, swollen after Jean's death.
McSwollen.
And he's like in a depressive mode and everything. But that sets up everyone's appetite for the third film, which, like, this is going to be the greatest trilogy of all time, right? X-Men 3? What? Yo, the first two were fucking dope. Okay. So Bryan Singer moves on from X-Men: The Last Stand, or X-Men 3 as it was called at the time, to do Superman Returns. Because he had always wanted to do a Superman film, and he was in love with the Richard Donner film, so he chose to do that with Brandon Routh, and he took James Marsden with him. James Marsden played Cyclops in these earlier films, which is why we have a little Cyclops in X-Men 3. So they get two writers to write. I don't know what Fox was thinking. I think they were going through a lot of turmoil at the time. They get two different script writers to come up with two different stories at the same time for the film.
No wonder.
Because they wanted to do I think Singer wanted to do Phoenix because it was teased, but the producers wanted to do the Cure storyline because they were just interested in that from Astonishing X-Men. So they get, I think it's Zach Penn and Simon Kinberg to write 2 different drafts, and then they come together and they make this script of X-Men: The Last Stand. And this movie, on my rewatch, angered me.
Of course,
it was disappointing. It was
disappointing.
It was. They made Cyclops even an even bigger bitch than he was before.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's kind of Brett Ratner was the director of this, and I don't know what his fucking problem is, but he disrespected Cyclops in an unbelievable way. Because while watching, I'm like, dude, because he starts out the movie in mourning over what happened with Jean, which makes sense.
Yeah,
he's at a low point. But I thought the movie, it's like he's going to build himself back up to actually lead the X-Men, especially if characters like Xavier die, they're gone and everything. Jean's the antagonist now. What perfect potential.
This is a Wolverine trilogy. Get that guy out of here. Kill him!
Wolverine 3!
no, it was more Wolverine.
It really was. He's
like,
the leader.
Shit.
It's Wolverine. They might as well called it Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And
that leader.
and Wolverine didn't seem as angry as
Scott.
As Scott.
Yeah.
And Scott was supposed to be the more, I guess, level-headed dude, and he was just...
He's the leader.
A sad sack of shit.
Well, what did you guys think of X-Men: The Last Stand?
I'll tell you what it is. Oh, Jean, you're back. Yeah, let me give you a kiss. Kiss of death.
He basically got disintegrated when he saw her. It's like, oh, you fixed my eyes. I can see you properly now. And then fucking evaporates him into fucking air.
Yeah. Well, this movie split, obviously, in terms of its story, right? You're dealing with the Cure in one area, you're dealing with the Phoenix in another area, and they don't mix. They don't mix together.
Yeah,
A major pharmaceutical company has developed a way to suppress the mutant X gene permanently. They're calling it a cure.
There's nothing to cure. Nothing's wrong with any of us for that matter.
You of all people know how fast the weather can change.
Which of the stories did you find more compelling? Because I felt there was potential for both story in separate films, but which for you guys was the most interesting between both?
I think. What do you think?
To tell you the truth, in my opinion, it was mostly the because they already teased it in the second film, the Phoenix. Because here's the thing, Jean Grey, she's like a very complicated character.
Yeah.
And to really delve into like her story, for X3, if it had gone that way, would have been pretty damn fitting, because if you think about it, I guess you could say it kind of goes like with the flow of what they were trying to do originally.
Yeah. If they had just focused on it, it would have been the perfect cap for the trilogy.
I think, but I would have liked that film with the Cure too. It's like that's the question. If you had the chance to change yourself and change who you were and who you are, would you take that chance?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and there are a lot of characters in the X-Men that respond to the Cure in very emotional ways, right? Like Rogue, obviously dealing with that conflict within her. That's interesting.
Bullshit. We never got to see.
She wasn't a goth baddie. That idea. I like the idea of the Cure if it were like saved for a later film, because we already had the government oversight in the second film. Like the government was the enemy in the second film. In the third film, save it for like the real crazy cosmic horror stuff with Jean Grey, right?
Yeah.
You know, because what the fuck? And I don't like what they do with Rogue in terms of like she takes the Cure for a boy.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. I don't think that's in line with what it should be.
See, that's the thing. To tell you the truth, like I was kind of thinking to myself while I was watching like that movie like a while ago, I was kind of thinking like, damn, it would have been actually really cool instead of that whole Cure bullshit. They would have had Rogue really come to like accept herself
and
really
become like an actual X. Like why isn't she at the end of in the final battle?
Yeah,
you know,
Rogue didn't do shit in the movie.
She didn't.
They didn't do anything. Yeah, and she was so integral to at least the first one was
Yeah.
revolving almost around Logan
and Rogue's
story. You know?
And for her to be, she's kind of gets the Cyclops treatment in this
Yeah!
film. You know?
Yeah.
And she's arguably one of the most useful X-Men.
I mean,
Hell yeah,
she may be the most.
Third, like, important character.
Yeah.
Because first it's Magneto in the first film, and then Wolverine's shown, and then it's Rogue.
Well, if we're looking at like the team, right? Practical, you know, like who's the most useful in this fucking team here? Rogue is probably at the top.
Oh yeah.
Next to someone like Jean or Xavier, if we're counting him.
I mean,
you know?
just look at what happened in X1. Like she got stabbed by Wolverine, but then she's just like, oh, let me absorb his shit. I'll heal myself and I'll be good.
Dude, look at her in '97. In X-Men '97,
amazing,
dude. She
97.
Is,
she is off the chain.
She gets her due in that. It's unbelievable.
Look at her thickness in the 90s.
Rogue wasn't thick in any of these movies. But
that's the thing, man. Like Rogue, like she's like viewed as a very like what do you call it, like undermined character. Like she's really like bad shit powerful, especially because obviously they couldn't do anything with Captain Marvel.
Of course.
So it's like it makes it harder because like in the original, you know, taking up the powers and then becoming basically Carl Danvers.
Yeah, Carl Danvers
on steroids.
Carl is Captain.
Carl Danvers.
Carol Danvers.
Hi, I'm Carl.
And
Carl Danvers.
You know, but he's like, it was just, you know, even though she was a little powered down in the X trilogy, you still felt like Rogue was very important.
Yeah,
this one didn't do anything, and it was just more disappointing. I'm like, fuck, why do they have to have two writers in this situation to
with two completely different stories?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But I feel like they could have amped her power up in this film where she becomes
they could have
prominent.
Helped her out,
you know, like
everything.
Dude, imagine she just touches Juggernaut. You know, she just touches him, and then you can get a dope ass fight between her and Juggernaut. You know,
it's like jumps on his back, fucking touches his neck, fucking, and then hits into the wall, and then
you could actually have, to tell you the truth, you could have actually gone a little bit more with her powers if they were to like, you know, try to do like a combination of like what she does in the comics. Like she could have taken someone's powers for that were able to fly, and then Juggernaut's abilities. That way she has that, you know, that damn power.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a movie made, I feel, just to get it out there, you know, just to retain rights, make it. I mean, the movie was going to happen either way. And Brett Ratner was just not the choice, in my opinion, to direct.
He wasn't.
Brett Ratner directed the Rush Hour films. He directed... What else did he direct?
Hey, don't mess up the Rush Hour.
I mean, it was good.
The first film...
But for this situation, with X-Men being done by Robert Singer...
yeah, well, and also, you know, Brett Ratner is kind of a dickhead. But
no, I think...
He's not a dickhead. He's an asshole.
He is an asshole.
But I would say the silver lining out of everything in there was Beast.
Okay, thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
Kelsey
I have to
Grammer
agree.
as Beast, Hank McCoy, my favorite X-Men character, cemented by this performance. This casting is too good for this film.
No, yeah, it is.
Like this movie does not deserve the performance of Kelsey Grammer as Beast, because he is always great in the role. I love the prosthetics in this film. I love his attitude in coming to the film.
Yeah.
You can tell he really likes the character a lot.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like he's kind of he's great when he's there, but he's not really utilized in the way that he should be. I think, you know, he's
a fucking smart fucking scientist who can figure his ass. He doesn't need brute strength entirely.
Yeah.
He can use his fucking. I mean, it's great that you show. Yeah, but
he's a bureaucrat in this film.
Hey, it's better than fucking doing nothing, you know.
No, it's true. It's true.
It's better than not being Southern or goth. You know?
I do wish though that just all these characters were more in tune with the roles, like we're coming up with better ideas for how they could be implemented than we saw in the film.
Yeah.
Right? And the reason they're better is because they're more in line with their comic book counterpart. You know, there were rules on these films not to read the comic books because they wanted to keep that separation. You see it in their outfits. Mm-hmm. You see it. They're wearing black leather in these films. You know, it's kind of weird that you're gonna make an X-Men film. It's like brownies without chocolate.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it's just
Wolverine. I heard you're quite an animal.
Yeah, but
I love that.
It was one performance that I wish would have been shown in other films too. I mean, and you know, when you go into the later films, Days of Futures Past and everything like that, I'm like, you see Beast for a second in there, like the
Kelsey Grammer's Beast.
Kelsey Grammer's Beast. Even though the other guy was pretty good, you know,
Nicholas Hoult. I think
great.
I think he was good for what he was given.
Yeah.
He's great. He's really like, we're the next Lex Luthor. Yeah. He's
like, we're gonna be we're gonna be best friends. It's like, I wish I saw the friendship build in that film a little bit more between Wolverine and Beast, because I didn't feel it as heavy as.
Yeah, they have a very significant friendship, I think, within X-Men in general. Like, I always loved the relationship between Wolverine and Beast, and here they kind of play with that a bit. Like they have banter when they first meet, you know, like what you said, like you're quite an animal, you know. I like the way they act with each other, but what they're given is shit.
Oh yeah,
you know.
That's the thing with the difference between the movie and the comic books. Like Beast and Wolverine, like throughout the X-Men run in the comics, they've been more of like a prominent like understanding of one another. Like like, hey, like I understand like your like you understand my thing because, you know, I'm blue, I'm always been furry, stuff like that. However, you have been called an animal your entire life because of, you know, what you are. Like that and you've been alive a lot longer than I
calls him boy.
Boy. Did he just call me boy?
Did he just
that was
much older than him.
I lived two lifetimes more than you, boy.
Logan, I know which army you fought for in the Civil War.
You fought for the South.
You think you can get rid of your Confederate ass that quick?
Well, listen, to bring up one thing I like. I mean, you already brought up Kelsey Grammer as Beast. That is the one thing I like of the film. Mm-hmm. But
you know, like Angel.
Oh yeah, I mean Angel. That's another thing. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but Angel is an original member of the fucking team in the comic books, and he's always getting the shaft in these movies. Dude.
I felt kind of like, it was like, oh shit, he was like cutting his fucking back.
Yeah, that's
effective. Fucking razor.
I think that's really effective. It's kind of similar in terms of opening to like the first film where you see Auschwitz, right? It's like a very dark implication of what mutants have to go through to live.
Scene, but then it never works with any.
No, it doesn't. Because it doesn't pay off. Like it pays off in a very surface level way where he like saves his dad and shit. But we don't know Warren as a person. Like Angel is like a major casualty in this film, which is really sad since he's one of the first members of the fucking team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fucking he's the chicken man.
Into a naked model.
Is good for us.
I mean, I don't see how you have to like, you know, like bitch about that. Like,
shut up, fool.
We like that.
Well, what do you guys think of the kind of spin of this from the comics of the death of Jean Grey? When obviously they changed it up from Cyclops being... I mean, Cyclops and her are married at that point, I believe. Are they married at that point in the books?
I don't know. I don't.
They're together.
They're partners. They basically share a same room or something, I guess. Right.
Well, but they are together.
Yeah.
And they replace it with Wolverine here, where they try to make it a little bit more...
I feel bad. Yeah.
It felt kind of soap opera-y a little bit. What do you guys think of that?
I don't know. Wolverine's films.
It's Wolverine 10.
It's like you want,
apparently not.
You want Wolverine to be happy too, but it's also like,
I love you.
yeah, I know. It's like, come on, dude, you didn't really earn it.
Miles, let's reenact that scene at the end. I love you.
I know.
To tell you the truth, like, here's the thing, like, a relationship between, like, Jean Grey and Wolverine, like, it gets really difficult, especially if we're basing this off of, like, the comic version, because, like, here's the thing, like, Jean Grey, astronomically powerful fucking character, and then Logan, he's just, like, a dude with claws.
Yeah.
Like, you're not really gonna be able to do shit
A boomer.
against like the Phoenix of all fucking things. Like, oh, stab! I know that'll work. The fucking Phoenix is astronomically fucking powerful. The thing survived a multiversal bomb, dude. How the fuck are you able to survive against that?
Well, here's my thing.
Hey, that's a
That's a fair
he's shooting
point.
facts. He's shooting facts.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Wolverine and Jean Grey, okay?
He just doesn't give a fuck.
It's always been a little pathetic. Okay? Wolverine always going after Jean. She's with Cyclops. It's like, oh yeah.
He's just pining over her.
He's pining. It's like, God, dude, it's been done. Why don't you get your own one? Get Madeline Pryor. How about that? Get the clone of Jean Grey.
I mean, dude, she's depowered as fuck, but it's okay. It's still the same, redhead.
Not gonna burn your dick off. All right?
Look at me, Jean. We can help you. We can fix it. We can make it like it was. Stay with me, please.
Go to Mary Jane, dude.
I'm a little.
Steal her from fucking Peter Parker, dude.
Here's my thing, okay? I'm a little tired of the Phoenix at this point. I don't know if you guys agree. I love the potential of the Phoenix, especially from the comic books and what it could be. But at this point, they've messed it up so many times in the films that I just don't care
Phoenix
anymore.
out. Yeah, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you got enough iterations about it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
We've seen it. If they reboot...
I've seen the Phoenix twice. We're done with this.
I'm done with it. I am. Because it's never translated well. No. I don't know why. It can... Maybe with the MCU, if they get it to, like, in phase 20 or something. The Phoenix.
Phase 20.
That would be great. But, no. I don't... no, sir. Don't like it. X-Men: The Last Stand.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Sorry.
Like,
and where was Nightcrawler?
I
got pissed off at that.
And Wolverine
primarily.
and Nightcrawler, both in the comics, had a really great relationship too.
Oh, dude, we're not going to spoil it because Brian's here, but that scene in X-Men 97 with them...
Yeah, I like that.
Dude,
perfect.
yeah.
Shows their friendship.
Unbelievable.
So
that needs to be in a fucking movie.
That's
at
that,
some
that
point.
that's the thing, dude. Like,
yeah, you better say it.
You gotta watch it, son.
That's the thing, dude. Like, a lot of characters, like that, which is one of the reasons what makes the X-Men. A lot of characters get along really well with one another.
Yeah.
Specifically with the characters that they're with, like
family.
Like Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Nightcrawler, and Beast. Like, they all get really well together because they're physically different from everyone else.
And then, by the way, Colossus is kind of just a
shafted as well.
Really shafted motherfucker.
Everyone's kind of shafted in this film, but he's not even Russian.
Yeah, he's not even Russian.
Yeah, I know. He's supposed to be a big, tall Russian dude.
Yeah, made out of metal. Fucking metal.
He is more like Drago than Colossus. All right. By the way, I was really upset that because X-Men 2, back to X-Men 2 just for a second. It had John Ottoman's X-Men theme. The dun, dun, that's perfection in my opinion.
Yeah, that's perfection.
And they don't bring it back until Days of Future Past, which pisses me off.
That actually got me pretty pissed off. Although I'm not gonna lie, we can all agree that Days of Future Past saved like that entire fucking.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. So okay, let's move on.